Top of the evening to you. Happy St. Paddy's Day, everyone. Now, normally I'm Italian every other day, but today I'm Irish. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not, but well, a little bit. Yeah, just a tiny little bit. Anyway, I wanted to come on here because I don't come on often enough, and I'm going to start doing that more often. But I just want to let everybody know that we're going through a very critical time in this country now, obviously with the political turmoil. And, you know, we're seeing things in the last few weeks and months that we have never seen in this country for a very long time. And some people think it's very bad. Others think it's great. Of course, I'm talking mainly those who don't like it, mainly, of course, are Democrats. But I think also, you know, there's a few Republicans that are not fond of Donald Trump. We know that. And yes, he is absolutely a firebrand. He's the kind of person that walks into a room and you absolutely love him or you hate his guts. That's just the way he carries himself. And, you know, and again, some ways it's good, some ways it's not. But I wanted to kind of draw a parallel to what's happening now and how this nation was founded. I know that some of you may not agree with this. You know, you may think this is nonsense, but you know, just a basic history of how America was founded is really important to understand what Donald Trump is doing today. And just a couple of issues. One of the issues is that America was founded on service, right? The government was designed to serve the people, to protect their rights, and to foster prosperity. That's really what America was founded upon. And that's why we have a constitution that protects our basic rights. I mean, there's absolutely no way around that. And there are people, and by the way, on both sides of the aisle, I'm not just talking about Democrats, that don't believe in that. They do not believe that we have absolute rights given to us by God, enumerated in the Constitution. They believe rights are given by the government, and that is absolute nonsense. That is not what our founding fathers designed America for, and we know that. We can see that. It's very obvious. So before I get into more of what America was founded upon, let's take a little trip here and see what's going on in the land of X. Just to show you some things here, I really think that, you know, it's when I see stuff like this obviously X is full of this, and it's kind of ironic that, you know, the Democrats today talk about, well, our freedoms are being squelched, you know, on this platform because Elon Musk screwed it all up. Look, if you look at this, you notice that everyone is allowed to speak what they feel, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't even matter. As you can see, Mia Farrow here has something she posted about the European leaders taking off their jackets in a united show of support for President Zelensky. And it's just, you know, just like Ian Miles Chong here says, it's embarrassing. It's virtue signaling. Everything is virtue signaling. Instead of actually getting a job done, doing it the right way, trying to avoid death, the death of innocent people who are fighting. I mean, they're fighting hard, you know, for their freedoms. And I understand that, but these people, there are soldiers dying every day now. Now, we know that Trump doesn't want that. He's a dove. He is not a wartime kind of a president. He doesn't want that. That's why Tuesday, if you're seeing this Tuesday, you know that President Trump is supposed to be speaking to Vladimir Putin. Now, those of you who hate Putin, say he's a dictator, yeah, you're right, he is. But this is how you deal with countries that have a lot of power. Countries that can not only hurt America, but also destroy European nations. So you don't want that. You want to be able to, you have to negotiate with these people. As hard as that is to hear, you have to negotiate. But I'm digressing a little bit. What I'm saying here is that you have people it's getting crazy. You have Whoopi Goldberg thinking she's going to get deported now. Really, Whoopi? I mean, are you serious? You actually believe that you're going to be deported? This is just utter nonsense. They're doing this for shock value, to get more views, and to foment more hatred and anger towards Donald Trump. Whatever happened to the concept of fair play? Whatever happened to, look, Republicans, conservatives, we had to put up with Democrat administrations and some of the things they did that we absolutely did not like. We had to put up with them for many years. Joe Biden for 4. You had, of course, Obama for 8. And let me tell you something. Obama ushered in this era of the fundamental transformation of this country, trying to turn this country into something that the founding fathers had no intentions of turning it into. We all know that Obama wanted a more socialist state. Okay, he was more interested in wealth redistribution, not wealth growth, not the not the production of wealth and the improvement of people's lives. He didn't really care about that. He might have said he wants people to improve their lives, but when you get down to it, his policies would not match that. It just doesn't, and it rarely does. It rarely does. So I think that's something we have to understand, that there are things that we can't do if we want to have a nation that is founded on freedom and prosperity. Essentially, yes, it is a capitalist system, maybe not pure capitalism, but it is a capitalist system nonetheless. And so I think that with that understanding, that's how we go forward. So what I wanted to express here is a little bit of what the founding fathers really meant for this country and what I think the American people wanted originally, especially as it pertains to government, because right now this is what is happening with the Trump administration, Elon Musk, and of course DOGE, this Department of Government Efficiency. What you have is a movement. This is not just Donald Trump on a whim. This is what he meant for America, even in his first term when he was talking about draining the swamp. He wanted to reduce government down to its original intent. And by that, I mean this, like I had said before. The government was designed to protect our freedoms and foster our prosperity, not to be a bloated bureaucracy. And that's what's happening. Our founding fathers, when they went into government, most of them had businesses that they ran. They were capitalists. They did not want to spend their entire life in government. It wasn't a career to them. It was a duty. It was a service, like being in the military for a few years. And then you get out and then you do your business and you enjoy the fruits of that labor that you put into government to protect the ability for you to run your business freely without heavy restrictions. That's really what we're getting at here. And I think that's the problem. You have people who don't believe in that anymore. They want something where you have bureaucrats running our government. You give them as much money as you can possibly squeeze out of the taxpayers. And you build this massive, behemoth that can't be moved, that ultimately tells everyone how to operate, how to live. They want the heavy restrictions, and of course they'll say it's for your safety, but really it's not worth it. Even if there is a little bit of safety involved, which I highly doubt, it's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. Give me my freedom, foster my prosperity. Allow me to move in a direction that's going to help me and mine. And yes, I believe in charity. I believe in helping those that can't help themselves. But, we can shrink government down by at least half and still provide for people who truly need it. But it comes down to efficiency. That's what DOGE is all about. But, so you have these people that, you look at all these angry Democrats, and yes, even a few angry Republicans, because they don't understand what Trump is doing. He's taking us back to the late 1700s and early 1800s in America, the way things were intended. He's taking us back there. Now, before, I know some of you, because look, I know people, I know how they are. Before some of you start talking about, well, wait a minute, back then they had slavery. That wasn't so great. What do you mean go back to those times? I understand that. But remember, that was happening in an isolated area of the country that was in the South. And I'm not going to get into right now how that all, sprung forth from the founding of our nation and our freedom, our fight for freedom against Britain. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'm going to say that, yes, the Constitution was intended for all men to be free, including people of color, including the slaves who, again, the Union, which was made up of most of the North, they wanted that freedom for the slaves. So, like I said, you can try to make the argument, oh, it wasn't for... Look, what did we do in the Constitution? The 14th Amendment? We finally rectified a situation that took many decades, almost 100 years, really, since the inception of our country. It took almost 100 years to get things right. But the point is, we got it right. And we've grown as a nation. So it all comes down to this. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't take, the few, bad things and you nitpick those to the point where you turn it into the thing. You understand what I'm getting at? And by the way, I invite anyone who disagrees with me, please comment. Comment down here in comments. Let me know what you think about that, and I will engage you, because I believe in discourse, spirited but respectful debate. And please, if you're just going to insult me, don't bother, because I want actual arguments. I want you to be able to come to me with an argument that makes sense. That's what I want. So, getting back to this, we see someone like Jasmine Crockett. Now, look, this girl, she needs help, because I think she's just trying to create a firebrand, kind of like the anti-Trump. I don't think it's going to work, because, again, you're talking about a party right now that's in total disarray. They don't have any good ideas. They plunged us into recession and inflation and all these bad situations financially. So what we need to do now is come out of that. And instead of the fighting and the name calling and the anger and the resentment and what they call the resistance, it's good to have maybe a spirited debate, but one in which it's productive. In other words, take the ideas that you see from Trump now and criticize them constructively. Because right now, by you screaming, oh, this is not unconstitutional, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter. At this point, Trump has power. This is what presidents do. In the last presidential term, Biden, he ignored the Supreme Court as it pertained to a few of the laws, and he got away with it. That's just the power of a president. Sometimes they do those things. Executive orders are not always constitutionally correct. They simply are not. But that's how we do things in this country. So, I invite you to make an argument. Tell me where I'm wrong. But I'm telling you, this is the problem with our country right now. And look, I'm not letting Republicans off the hook, or conservatives in general. I think a few of them, in other words, they're both sides are slinging mud, name calling, all these things. And to be honest with you, we have to stop. We have to come down to the point of, okay, what is better for the country? And if you're a responsible and rational person, if you're a Democrat, try to be rational. Try to look at this issue pragmatically. What was America founded on? And don't say it was founded on slavery and what's the other one? Colonialism and all this nonsense. Think about this for a minute. The colonies, right? The colonists actually fought against the British to escape from that colonial system. And so America was something brand spanking new. It wasn't like the European colonial system. It was a free nation based on free speech and freedom of business, freedom of everything. You can do things in America that you could do or say nowhere else in the world. So it was not anything like the colonial system that you're talking about. Now, we'll get into the slavery argument at another time. In the South, it was very bad, yes. But remember something. We could not become a nation without the help of the southern regions and states. We could not create nor maintain our sovereignty without their help. And in the beginning, that's where compromise came in. And it sounds really bad. It does, I know. But again, things happen for a reason, and they happen incrementally. Freedom was not gained all at once. It had to be fought for in many different ways. So like I say, I'm not looking for a fight or some kind of a mudslinging competition with Democrats or with anybody who disagrees with me. There are conservatives now who can't stand what Trump is doing. They don't understand it, and they hate it, and they want to support DeSantis and this other person, other people, anybody but Trump. But the problem is, Trump is moving in a direction that needs to be moved to. It needs to be done this way. Trump is a wrecking ball to our government that needs to be wrecked. The government needs to be wrecked and rebuilt properly. This has been a long time coming, and that's why I say, when you sit here and question what he's doing and say, well, he's not acting conservative, in some ways you're right, he's not. But again, he did not come to this position to be what everyone calls a statesman. No, he came here to be a wrecking ball, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And that's what he's doing now, and we want this. This is what America voted for. Whether you like it or not, this is what America voted for. So here's what I would say. If you still are vehemently opposed to what I'm saying and what Trump is doing, here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand back and just watch, just like I did when Biden was in office. I couldn't do a whole lot. We didn't have a lot of power. So what did I do? I stood back and I just watched and I waited and then I voted. Now, yes, I did speak my mind, and yes, you can speak your mind. Go ahead. But I would suggest that you do so in a constructive manner and not mudslinging, calling your opponents Nazis and, maggots. I mean, it's just what a horrible thing to do, to basically unperson and depersonalize the people that are fellow Americans to you. And even if you're a Canadian or someone from a foreign country, we're fellow human beings on this planet. And show some respect. Whatever happened to respect? It's a terrible thing that you don't have any. So I want you to change your heart. Also, just from a moral standpoint, if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, you have to believe that all of this rancor, all of this anger, and this evil, spiteful spitting of just vulgarity and all the things that you're doing, all of this talk of enemies and Nazis, God doesn't like that. He's not looking kindly upon you. You need to search your heart, and I want you to do that right now. Search your heart, and I want you to pray. Do it tonight. Do it whenever you're watching this. Do it today. Do it right now if you can. I want you to pray to God and ask him to soften your heart and get you on the right path, attitude-wise. Get your attitude right. Get your heart right. That doesn't mean you have to agree. Believe me, I don't agree with many things that some of our elected officials believe in. But the point is, you have to have the right heart. What are you trying to accomplish? And maybe, just maybe, you're thinking wrong about a few things. Maybe you didn't look into what America is about. It's about freedom. It's about live and let live. Now, there are people that I don't agree with, certain communities, certain organizations, that I think they do things that are not productive. It isn't the best way for them to live. But you know what? They can live the way they want, as long as they're not infringing on someone else's rights. That's called live and let live. That's the American way. Can you do it? Can you live that way? Instead of trying to force people to use your pronouns. Can you do it? Or to say anything that would go against their cultural and religious beliefs. You're forcing them to violate their own sacredly held religious and cultural beliefs. How dare you? That's not right. It just isn't. So, change your heart. I want you to pray, because I pray every day. I ask God to fix my heart. I always want to have the right attitude, and I want to have, the right, I want the right outcome. I'm looking for what is best for everyone. I'm not looking to hurt somebody else. And that's something that a lot of you, that I know because I see your posts, I know what you're believing in. I see that a lot, where you're not really interested in what's right for everyone. You just want to win, and you want to destroy your enemy when you call them a Nazi, and when you say they should be eliminated, or when you say actual death threats against Trump, which is a horrible thing to do, by the way. How could you? I mean, come on. Show heart. Show a little bit of softness, just a little bit. Again, you don't have to agree. You can staunchly challenge whatever I say, but I want you to really just look in your heart, man. There's something wrong if that's what you're doing here. Believe me, I see it everywhere. And yes, believe it or not, there are people who, disagree with Trump, with me, with a lot of the things we believe in. But you know what's funny about that? They are still respectful. They can respectfully disagree, and they can make their points. They can say what they truly believe, and they can do it articulately, and they can do it in a way that I can actually read it and respect what they say. I may not even agree with it, but I can respect it. That's what we all need right now. So that's enough talking. I talked too long. I just wanted to let you all know that, first of all, please, like this video. Of course, subscribe, share this, so that I can get myself out there a little bit more. Lately, again, it's been a while since I've come on regularly. That I want to start doing that. And also, tell me if you want me to do some live shows. I'd like to do some live debates, through the chat, things like that. That's how I want to start with this. And I haven't been able to get on there so much. So, if you want to get a hold of me, you can do it through chat here, or through comments here, or if you want to go to my Facebook, I have all the links here in the description below. Please keep in touch with me. And again, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share it everywhere. And I have a lot of interesting things to talk about. I was thinking about talking about March Madness, but really, I don't know if most people are interested in that. There's a lot of people who talk about it. I guess I would engage anyone who wants to talk about that. So again, everybody, Michael